You join me today on a very sad day because right now I have baking in my oven a Father's Country ham from Gatton Farms in Bremen, Kentucky. And it is the last Father's Country ham I will ever be baking because Gatton Farms is closing down. And yeah, it feels almost like losing a member of the family. So if you have never had a country ham before, you have to understand that like these things are totally unrelated to those sad, watery pink things you will see at the grocery store. These are hams that are dry cured, so rubbed with an absolutely borderline dangerous amount of salt and sugar. And they are smoked with hickory, and then they are hung up in a barn to age for a couple of months to a couple of years. To the point where if you get one of these things whole, which I did, you actually have to clean the mold off before you can eat them. It's just part of the fun. They are unbelievably salty and funky and intense, and one of America's great contributions to cuisine, in my humble opinion. And there aren't a lot of sort of producers making the stuff at scale anymore. I also go with Benton's in Tennessee a lot of the time. And losing one of them, someone who's I've been buying stuff from for, 2 decades now, it just feels, I feel harder hit than I should be. So yeah, while this thing bakes away, we're going to have a little review flight, in homage to Father's and Father's Country ham. And no, we are not doing bourbon. That would be too obvious, wouldn't it? And I've never gotten a lot of ham notes on bourbon, if I'm honest. Nor I've gotten them before. I've gotten them on Armagnac. So we're going to do a big Armagnac flight of producers that I've never really had before, and I don't really know much about. And where I really only have just the one bottle from them. So it's mixed Armagnacs today. We got some Bas-Armagnacs, we got some Tenerazes, and we're just going to run through them. All right, so, and we're going up in order of increasing strength, starting from this little Grosperrin Gaube from 86 up to this monstrous Ladevèze from at 56%. Let's get going. Starting off with this Grosperrin. I don't know a whole lot about this producer. I don't know what the grape is, but it is cask number C/D3, bottled at 44.5%. And it's in 1986. Bottled, 2023? So you're talking math on camera. It's old. It's old. I'm sorry. My brain is full of ham. I can't do math right now. On the nose. Oh, pretty. So, take some mixed berries, raspberries, maybe a couple of cherries, a couple of blueberries, blackberries, and then sprinkle a ton of cinnamon on top of them. And that's most of what this smells like. Yeah, cinnamony berries. It's not dried fruit so much. I mean, I could probably pull a fig out of there if I was really looking, but the freshness is what I'm really getting. The freshness of freshly picked berries. Touch of like topsoil in there too. Florals, actually a little bit of violet. Huh. Other stuff, a little nutmeg, hint of like cardamom pod. Is there ham? No, but it smells delightful and amazing. I'm really enjoying the kind of cinnamon on berries kind of nose this is offering. On the palate. Very classic Armagnac and just a very delicious Armagnac, if I'm honest. Now you're getting a mix in the fruit. Now you're getting a couple of berries, your raspberries, your blackberries, blueberries. But you're also getting some more dried fruit in there. Prune, fig, raisin or two. You're still getting your cinnamon, and your nutmeg, allspice, some cardamom as well. It's much more sort of less. It's a little bit less fresh and more conventionally Armagnac-y on the palate. There's still the floral thing. Yeah, there's violets there, but it's also like a mix of maybe some blossoms in there as well. Touch of rose. And orange. A really nice kind of marmalade sort of thing happening on the palate. English breakfast tea. There's a little bit of a rancio slash, dirty, chopped up wooden furniture kind of thing going on here as well. But much less than you would expect for something that's, from 1986. The mouth presence isn't tremendous. It really isn't. It's fine. This doesn't feel like it wants to be a big, huge bruiser of an Armagnac. This just feels like a little bit of a refined, easy drinker for the refined gentleman with a smoking jacket. You know what I mean? So we're going to add some water to this, and we're going to move on. I'm not going to do a full squirt. We'll stop about a third of the way from the end. And moving on to, the Poutëou. This is another Bas-Armagnac. 1990, 32-year-old. Cask number 47. Bottled at 46.3% alcohol. Do I have more to say about that? I'm sorry, I put my notes on my phone. I know it's really awkward to be looking at my phone while I'm supposed to be recording a review. No, that's most of the relevant stuff. I will put more information down below. But it's a Poutëou. 1990. On the nose. Very grapey, actually. There's some kind of raisin, almost like mashed raisin kinds of things going on. There's also just some fresh, chopped up red grapes going on. Which I'm appreciating. What else we got? Some kind of baking spices, cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, white pepper, more grapiness, which I'm enjoying. But it doesn't smell like a Moscato or something. It doesn't smell like really intensely aromatic floral grapes like Moscato can get. We're not there. This is just it just smells like mashed up raisins and a couple of fresh grapes thrown in. Like a bunch of kids broke into their lunch boxes and pulled out all the different grape products they had and had a little mashing session. That's kind of what this smells like. A little bit of sherry, actually. Not like sherry cask. This is more like actual sherry, like an Old Amontillado or something. got that kind of like oxidative white wine nuttiness thing going on. Fun, interesting. On the palate, ooh. Much more serious on the mouth presence than the little Grosperrin. This brings an intense, over-stewed tea that's been infused with like a chopped-up couch kind of character to it. But on the arrival, and particularly on the mid-palate, you're still getting a lot of crushed raisins and crushed grapes. There's more floral on the palate than there is on the nose. Just some nice kind of daisies and wild field flowers kind of popping up and having fun. A little bit of caramel note. Certainly some coffee going on, like a, sort of European espresso kind of thing. I'm digging the freshness on these first two so far. Armagnac can often get like very dried fruit meets like, angry cinnamon toast crunch on you. No, but these are throwing some more, they have a little bit of a lighter touch despite also bringing a heck of a lot of structure. There's a little bit of a lemon peel thing going on in here as well. All right. Yum. It's a little bit of like a cinnamon sugar donut thing going on, which I appreciate. There's a squirt. Let's move on. All right, Armagnac number 3. This is a Chateau Lassalle Baqué. I guess Baqué because there's an accent. 1992. This is an Ugni Blanc. 46.7%. Now this thing is, first of all, very reasonably priced for a Brut de Fou Armagnac. And it is a Ténérage. It's our first Ténérage of the group. And I feel like there was more I wanted to say about this, but it's all slipping my mind because my mind is full of ham right now. Now, this is not to be confused with the other Chateau Lassalle, which is probably more prominent. This is kind of its own thing. Let's see what this has got. Yeah, this is barrel number 10, by the way. I'm sure I remember this being on the label somewhere. Whatever. Barrel 10. More reserved on the nose. Smells a little bit like Cocoa Puffs. Imagine like Cocoa Puffs and like potting soil, like a mix of potting peat and regular other soils mixed with your Cocoa Puffs. That's kind of what's going on here. No, there's a musty thing here too. So Cocoa Puffs, potting soil, but you're smelling them both in like a really musty cellar that should really have a professional come in and look at it. A little bit of orange peel coming through. Black tea leaves, like Ceylon tea leaves, something like that. really hard to pull notes out of this one. It's pretty pretty not forthcoming. Has aromatic difficulties, let's put it that way. On the palate, you know, when you're like, you know, in your car or something, and you want to play some classic heavy metal, you know, your Iron Maiden or something, but you can't get the Bluetooth to work. Maybe it's a rental car. Let's say it's a rental car. You don't want to deal with the Bluetooth, so you're just going to play your Iron Maiden through your cell phone speakers. This feels kind of like that. We're getting the highs, we're getting the mids, we're even getting a little bit of the lows, but the lows are kind of like just a little bit distorted and weird. I mean, it's definitely, we're in Armagnac territory here, and it's delivering a huge amount of peppery, cinnamony stuff. But I don't know if the balance on this is or the levels or something like that. I don't know how to put this. It feels like there needs to be more here. There's things I like. There's a cinnamon, like lemon peel, lemon zest thing going on, which I'm really enjoying. Also a little orange peel in there. Lightly floral as well. There's some kind of blossoms and acacia happening. Kind of like a generic milk tea, you know, like Taiwan style milk tea thing going on as well. And lots of tannins in the back end. Like just, you know, feels like my face is being attacked by black pepper and angry, you know, zombie furniture. It just feels like there should be more detail to this. It feels like I'm missing out on this, what this is trying to say. It's a very strange drinking experience, this. It's not bad. It's just, again, it's like trying to listen to classic metal through, you know, smartphone speakers. That's a little bit of what this is doing for me. So I'm very curious to see what this does with water. I'm going to give it a squirt. I could see this going multiple directions. Who knows? I brought the coffee cup today because I know I'm going to need it. All right, glass 4. So far, I think the Poutëou is winning this for me. But now we're going to get very serious. Séailles. 1975, and one of the least expensive 1975s I've seen in a while. This is another Tannerez. 47.5% alcohol by volume. And I will quickly check my cell phone to see if there's other information about this. Cask number 85. I should really just have taken 10 minutes to write all this stuff down. I apologize. Do not know what grapes... I'll put whatever other stuff I find down below. But it is 47.5% alcohol by volume, which is very reasonable for something at this age. Figs, prunes, dates and like crushed Skittles. Not regular Skittles. This is more like tropical Skittles. Oh, man. Okay. Rum adjacent, I think, is the word for this. Yeah, rum fans, come onto the room. This may be one you're interested in. It's bringing a lot of molasses, but also like fig molasses. Apricot, peach, cardamom, definitely cardamom. What is that? Oh, it smells like some kind of herb. It's not basil. No, actually, it is. Actually, no, it's totally basil. It's just it's it's dried basil. It's not fresh. We're not talking fresh basil here. We're talking like the big tubs of like dried, flaky basil. You open up one of those things fresh, this is what you smell. Oh, I like this. On the nose, at least. There is some overstewed black tea going on. But yeah, it feels like this is starting to lose what we talk about in as wine nerds is the primary and secondary notes. We're starting to get into tertiary stuff here. Stuff that just comes from long ass aging. It also smells a little bit like ham glaze, which makes me excited given where my brain is right now. Yeah, like molassesy ham glaze. Just, cinnamony as well. I like this nose. On the palate. Oh. Sour dried fruit that's been smothered in cardamom and like dried basil. That's totally what this tastes like. I dig this. So I have to take back my rum adjacent thing, unless you're one of those weirdos like me that really enjoys sour notes in your rum, in which case you can stay on board. But everyone else, sorry, false alarm. Try this again. Yeah, you're not talking about like, it's still dried fruit all day long, but it's not sweet dried fruit. This is like fruit that you picked, when it was half ripe, and then you let it dry it out. So sour prune, sour fig, sour dried peach, sour apricot, sour date, sour raisin. Oh. And there's some like Irish breakfast tea on the back end. Very serious finish. Very serious mouth presence overall, actually. Yeah, I think this is a winner. I have to double check pricing on this and see if it's still available. Do I have other things to say about this? I mean, we talk sometimes about the different kinds of rancio out there. It's because it's not just about old furniture. Sometimes rancio can manifest as like, soy sauce and mushrooms, like umami rancio. This is manifesting as like sour fruit rancio. Although now that I think about it, there is a little hint of kikkoman in there. Little kikkoman soy. And ham glaze. Yum. I like this. Give this a squirt of water. We'll come back to it. But we are now moving on to the, I think it's Simsat? Simsat, maybe. Consonants get weird. Terminal consonants get weird in southern France. So I'm going to guess Simsat, but I'm not really sure. And this is we're back to Bas-Armagnac. And this is a bottling from the Authentic Spirits folks. And I have a whole bunch of their stuff to review. They do a bunch of super duper nerdy French spirits. And this is from Baqué and Ugly Banque. It's vintage 2003, 48.6% cask strength. On the nose, we're starting to go back to the grapiness of, what was it, the Poutëou. Grapiness, but there's also like a savory note on this. It's not, I want to say ham, but it's not ham. It's not ham, it's another part of the pig. It's like almost like a aged pork belly or something. Not bacon. We're talking about just, fresh, unsmoked, but maybe slightly cured, lightly aged pork belly with grapes. Some flowers creeping in, apricot as well. Cinnamon, cardamom, little ginger. Something leafy. Not sure what. Like just a fresh leaves that fell off in a regular old Midwestern forest. But yeah, the grape and like aged pork belly note is very prominent on this. And it smells fresh. It smells more like these first two. There's a freshness to this that I appreciate. On the palate, ooh. English breakfast tea with cinnamon and a whole bunch of like mashed mulberries. It's the best I can do with this. Grapes too, a couple of grapes, but really mulberries. Fig, date, some dried fruit elements, but yeah, it's hard to get away from the mulberry thing on this. Black pepper. This is in a bit of a tough spot after the Séailles here, because it's not delivering the same breadth of flavors. This is a little bit more narrow. That being said, the flavors it are delivering have a lot of vivacity to them, and the mouth presence is very, very good. Yeah, there's a little bit of a savory thing to this. Cinnamon, cardamom. Okay, like a little bit of like a molasses and pork fat thing going on, like a pork glaze kind of thing happening. It could just be where my brain is right now, but I feel like it's in there. It's yummy. I mean, it's not. The Séailles kind of took me by surprise. This is pretty awesome so far, but this is certainly not to be outshined in this broader context. So we're going to give it a squirt of water. This Simsat. I mean, it's the youngest thing here by a lot, and it is kind of keeping up with the crowd. So, yeah, this is serious stuff. get an extra drop or two. 2, 3. And we are moving on. Oh, we take a big ABV jump now. Now it is a Domaine Saint-Martin, Le Passieux. And this is a aficionado's pick, cask number 63. It's a Bas-Armagnac. And, yeah, let me check this one for any notes. It's Baqué. 54.3% alcohol by volume. And, yeah, let us dig into this. Knowing it's an A-fish proof pick, I just kind of know it's going to be enormous on the palate. But I kind of want to see what the nose is like. Speaking from a little bit of experience, high proof Armagnacs, but maybe Yaks in general, tend to be a little bit congested on the nose. And that's kind of what's happening here. Come on, wake up. Wake up. I'm getting some orange peel, lemon peel. Black pepper. Kind of like a milk coffee drink thing, like a, maybe not a latte, like a cappuccino. Something musky. What is that? It's not like an animal musk. This is more of a fruit musk. Come on. A little bit of mulberry on this too, maybe. On the palate. I hang out with the aficionados folks, the pickers. I'm not ranked that high, but I hang out with those folks in their Discord, and I kind of know their taste at this point, and I kind of get why they picked this, because on the palate, this has enormous amounts of weight. Yeah, you were getting fig, prune, but also a certain minerality. Rocks, what is that? Like almost like a pop rocks element to this, along with just regular old rocks. Some flowers. Okay, so tea, black tea, sweet black tea, but also there's a coffee element to this, but it's not traditional coffee. It's like almost like coffee candy or something like that, or almost like a coffee liqueur element. Oh, okay, so maybe that's what I'm getting. Maybe this is almost like a Kahlua thing on this. But nice. Really intense, muddy, like mud ball mouthfeel. Tickling the heck out of my tonsils. Great mouth length. Long finish. And that Pop Rocks meets Kahlua thing is feels like a very special combination in the context of Armagnac. So, yeah, this is a fun little pick here. All right, well, let's give this some water and we'll come back to it. 1, 2, 3. 3 might do it. Go 3.5. Ooh. Let's move on to the last of this batch, which is another Tenorez. This is the... Oh, God, I'm going to screw this up. Ladevèze. Ladevèze. This is a Folle Blanche from 1992. 56% alcohol by volume. Which is very, 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 very strong for an Armagnac. And yeah, I know nothing about this producer. Any notes I highlighted for this? Yeah, so long, sort of an old producer, a couple of generations into this. Again, high proof yak tends not to be very expressive on the nose, at least not initially. I'm getting some like peppery cinnamon peach. Maybe a little kiwi creeping in as well. Apricot, dates, figs. And this time I am getting a little bit of Moscato. Like good Moscato. This is like high-end Piedmont Italian royalty producer level Moscato, like your Vietti, your Pio Cesare stuff. It's not that strong. It's just kind of like that's one of the elements in here. What is that? Black pepper. There is a mustiness on this. Musty cellar, a couple of mushrooms creeping in, although this isn't really old enough to be throwing that kind of intense, savory rancio kind of element at you. There's just a little hint of that. A couple of rocks as well. Maybe some raisinets, chocolate raisins. On the palate. I feel like I'm using milk tea too often as a note these days, but here's a case where I really have to deploy it again. You head to Kung Fu Tea here in Chicago's Chinatown. You get their basic, black tea, milk tea with boba, and you're gonna, no sugar, no ice. And then you're going to dump a heck of a lot of black pepper in there. And even a little bit of like spicy, something spicy in there as well. Like almost, not mala stuff, not Szechuan. It's more like a little bit of curry powder going into this. Yeah, lots of milk tea. Ooh, this big spicy peppery kick that kind of emerges on the mid palate and does not let go. Flowers, though, as well. There's some kind of a potpourri element. Not that intense. It's just kind of on the outskirts, giving this a little bit of a halo. Hint of an orange peel thing, more on the front end. It kind of like pulls back a little bit on the mid palate, but it kind of brightens things up a little bit. pretty good. And I mean, if you like your yak spicy, this is a good one for you. But really not my favorite in the lineup so far. I'll give this a squirt of water. We'll come back to it. 2, 3, 4. 4 might do it. I feel like I could go more, but I'm going to stop there. Oh, I can still smell the ham. I can smell the ham cooking. It's making my mouth water just a little bit. All right, let's go through these one more time now that they've had a few squirts of water, and we'll give them final grade. All right, back to the Grosperrin, the Gaube. On the nose. Not a whole lot of change. I mean, it smelled very kind of fresh before. Fresh and berry driven with some spiciness. Or not spicy, not like heat, pepper and curry spices, but like baking spices. It kind of smells the same way now. No, there's a little bit more mustiness creeping through. Like a rotting board or something. But it's certainly, yeah, it has a brightness. It has a freshness. It's one of the oldest bottles here, but it doesn't show it on the palate. It's a very conventional Armagnac in a lot of ways. You're getting your dried fruits, you're getting your cinnamon, you're getting your overstewed tea, and a little bit of like chopped up furniture on the back end. But you're also getting like some citrus in there, some fresh berries in there. It's just very easy drinking. In terms of the presence on this, this is not going to win the battle among these of the best mouth presence, but it's not bad, and there is a deliciousness factor here that I feel like some of these others did not have. We're somewhere in 85, 86 territory. I think I'm going to call this like an 85 plus, just to cut the difference. But I'm also going to add a heart to this because it's kind of yummy. And I don't want to have that lost in the shuffle here. 85 plus with a heart emoji because yeah, in many ways this is very normal Armagnac. It's very competent Armagnac, but it's very normal. But it has a deliciousness factor and a little bit of a mouth-watering freshness factor that I don't think I can account for in the numerical score, so it also gets a heart. And that's the Grosperrin. All right, moving on to the Poutëou, which was kind of one of my favorites up until I got to this this monster Séailles in the middle here. Yes. Oh, it's so grapey. Like mushed grapes, mushed raisins, and pepper and cinnamon. Oh, I love it. If changes from where it was neat, Maybe some more floral elements coming out now. Maybe some more violets. This is one that's if I don't do a whole lot of experimentation with like different glassware on this channel because I would lose my mind. But this is one for those of you who are nerds with different kinds of glasses. This is one I absolutely think would work well in that scenario, because when I move my nose to different locations, closer, farther, different spots around the opening of the glass, I'm getting different things. This will be a fun one to play with. On the palette. Okay, we're getting a little bit of the pop rocks thing now that I mentioned somewhere in this territory. Oh, that's just delicious. Delicious and somewhat unconventional Armagnac. Grapes, flowers, violets, baking spices, chopped up furniture, but then like more mashed up grapes, pop rocks. Fresh nectarine, that's new. Some citrusy notes, orange peel. I like this a lot. This is very, very good. What am I going to score this? Can I get to an 88 with this? I cannot. I cannot, in all honesty, get to an 88 with this, but I will give this an 87 plus. 87 plus. The Poutëou, and we are moving on to the Lassalle Baqué. I think it is. Now, this is the one that was kind of like playing Iron Maiden through a cell phone, right? Certainly the nose is not really stepped up to where it was before. Or past where it was before. It's very spicy. It's very cinnamony. But yeah, it's not. I'm not getting bass on this, or at least to the extent that I'm getting bass, it feels like an illusion. It's been created by, it's not actual bass. It's just like, guys manipulating audio to give me the impression, or something. On the palette. I mean, peppery, black tea, fig butter. But with the EQ off. Or being played through a mediocre, cell phone setup. It's not bad. It really isn't bad. But it just... The finish isn't short. I mean, the tannins stick around, but they're kind of the only thing that sticks around. The nice kind of like cinnamon stick element to this kind of fades away pretty quickly. I don't hate it. I really don't. I mean, listen to me. If I am at your wedding and you put down a glass of this next to me instead of a glass of, I don't know, God only knows what terrible craft bourbon you pick, I'm happy. I am delighted to drink a glass of this, but it's not winning me over. I'm going to call this an 85 minus, because it's better than an 84, but not by much. And it feels more like an 85 leaning down than an 84 leaning up, if that makes sense. Maybe. All right, moving on. To what was probably the leader going into the second half, the Séailles. It's a little bit unfair because this is in 1975, but it's also not that expensive. It's not that much more expensive than these others. And I just adore that nose. The basil, there's a little bit of some of the basil is more minty now. Oh my God. It's so pretty. It's like molasses and fig molasses and basil and dried fruit, some citrus in there as well. And some florals creeping in as well. That's maybe that's the big change from with adding water to this, is the florals are kind of creeping in with the basil, and also some of the basil is like minty now. Oh yeah, like yeah. Oh, I like this nose. Ooh. Very tertiary. And the tertiary is not furniture and wood and all that stuff. It is herbs and fruit. And that's what this is about. And it's like sour fruit. It's like sour dried fruit. I just love this. Before, like, I was like, do I give this an 89 or a 90? And now I'm leaning 90. I love this. This is... If you are into this style, Armagnac is not all about like spice bombs and wood bombs and all that stuff, and you like the sours and the herbs that Armagnac can sometimes bring. This is borderline perfect. In fact, this is pretty much perfect. I'm going to give this a 90. 90 points for this Séailles 1975. And yeah, the moment this is over, I'm going to see if I can buy a bottle of this for a reasonable price. And we are moving on. And I would be Very surprised if anything else in these three, which are good, if anything else here is going to beat this. But let us move on to this Simsat, which was the pork belly one, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's like a grapefruit kind of thing going on here. I mean, it smells like some... I mean, I'm going to sound racist as hell here. It smells like some kind of exotic Pan-Asian fusion pork dish. Like there's some pineapple here, there's grapefruit, there's pork belly. And it's fun. It's very fun. And the fact that this is a 2003 and is keeping up with this stuff from the 90s and back is very impressive. Good pick from the Authentic Spirits folks. On the palate. Water firms up the mouthfeel on this. Very nicely, actually. Oh. Mouthfeel gets a little bit more peppery, and the finish just kind of holds on a little bit longer. This is very good. It's fun. It's like a lot of these others. It's the more adventurous side of Armagnac. This is not just figs and cinnamon and over-dried tea. We are getting like some exotic, like there's some boysenberry elements on this. Orange peel, citrus, baking spices. Is it better than the Poutëou, though? Let me try this one more time. I think it has the Poutëou just by a little bit. It's just a hair bit more complex. I'm going to give this an 88. 88 points. If this will write. 88 points for the Simsat 2003. Oh my god. I may need to lie down after this. We are back to the A-fish pick. The Saint-Martin Le Patio. Oh no, there's some there's some fresh fruit coming through on this now. Some it's a strawberry, raspberry kind of element, red fruit. But rocks as well. There's a certain minerality to this which I enjoy. Okay, on the palate. It's very fun. It's a very fun Armagnac. Yeah, there's like a pop rocks like, I don't know, like a tropical fruit candy thing happening on this, which I really... It's not going to beat the Séailles. I don't know if anything here is going to beat the Séailles, but it's delicious and fun and different. Yeah, kiwi, pineapple, almost a cola cubes element. And it really, okay, so it's different, it's weird. That's on brand for these guys. And it completely dominates your palate. Also on brand with these guys. Does it beat the Simsat? I think it beats the Simsat by a hair. By a little hair. I'm going to give this an 88 plus. 88 plus for the Saint Martin. A fish pick. And let's move on. The Ladevèze, whatever it is. I apologize, France. I'm not in good condition for this. Very peppery, but also very, like, potpourri driven. Floral. I mean, it's fall blanche, so I'm not shocked that it's very floral. Plum, prune. Okay, on the palate. There's some fruitier elements coming into this now. So it's not just milk tea and, like pepper and curry and mala spice now. Now you're starting to get, more figgy stuff coming in as well. Solid mouth presence, but it's... In terms of complexity and flavors, it's really not that complicated. It's really like all the flavors delivered to you in this one kind of narrow range of a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of spice, fruit, and then that's, it. And then that's kind of it. It holds on pretty well. There's some floral in the palate too. Yeah, for a 30-plus-year-old Armagnac, I'm just not super duper impressed with this. I'm going to give it an 86 because I think it warrants it, but yeah, a little disappointed with this. So yeah, and that concludes the Gatton Farms Father's Country Ham memorial video. And what is your winner? It is the Séailles, 1975, which is the oldest thing here, but not super duper expensive, to be honest. And then back from that is the A-Fish pick, the Saint-Martin, and then the Simsat 2003, the youngest thing here, showing very, very well. And then we have got the Poutëou, 87 plus. This is just super yummy, interesting, weird stuff. And then the Ladevèze, whatever it is, 86. And then the Grosperrin Gaube, 1986, 85 plus, but with a heart because it's super yummy. And then I guess DFL, it goes to the Lassalle Baqué, which just feels like it's being played through a cell phone. And yeah, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers. And go buy yourself a country ham. You know, I think Gatton's out, but go check out the Benton range. Yeah. If nothing else, you can just keep it set up in your fridge and just steal yourself a slice of salty pork every once in a while. Thanks for watching, and cheers.